Join us for an exciting YouTube live conversation between N D Deshmukh and Deven Nandapurkar about the magic of data literacy and storytelling. We will break down how transforming raw, boring numbers into a narrative can drive real action. We will also explore why mastering these data interpretation skills is an absolute game changer for teens pursuing future STEM careers. Plus, a discussion on fascinating research by Hongbo Shao, Roberto Martinez-Maldonado, and their team at Monash University. Their study proves that adding storytelling elements helps people understand data insights much more effectively than plain charts. Don't miss out on learning how to turn your math into meaning.
So hello, welcome Deven to STEM Talk, and let's dive directly into the subject. So my first question to you, Deven, would be, what is the fundamental difference between data literacy and data storytelling?
So data literacy, just to put it in analogy, data literacy is about if you have a map with you, you see everything, which route, where is it going and all. But data storytelling is about if you can explain it to the person driving the vehicle that these are the routes and this is where we need to go. So
Okay.
understanding the concept and explaining it to somebody such that they understand it very simply and easily is about data storytelling.
Okay. And the article which you have just published on ENTECH Online Magazine, you mentioned something about, the translation gap. What exactly is that?
uh, a very classic use case that we understand one point but we are not able
Mm-hmm.
to convey that to the person in front. We understand that something is happening and that is about the data literacy. I know this report
Right.
says this, but
Hmm.
if I need to explain it to my colleague that this is what is happening and I am
Mhm.
not able to convey it in an effective manner, that is the translation gap. So a lot of people would be able to understand what is happening, but not everyone might be able to communicate that this is exactly what is happening and
Oh,
how it
okay. So
affects
you
it.
okay. So you have data, you have facts, but you are not able to communicate it. Okay.
Yep.
So if somebody wants to give a compelling message with that data, what are the core components they need?
Firstly, they should be very solid on the fundamentals, the raw data. The data never
Mhm.
lies if it is from the right resources. So the evidence, the data, the raw data is the first main pillar. Then human brain doesn't understand spreadsheets, it doesn't understand numbers very quickly. Just to crunch that whole information in very easygoing manner, we can put
Mhm.
that into visuals. It will help
Okay.
the person in front reading the data, so putting it into
Okay.
charts or any other kind of visual manner. And
Mhm.
then comes the narrative part of it, which is the storytelling, the later stage, that you explain it in the form of charts. Charts will tell you the trends of the data, but
Yeah.
charts will never tell you what is exactly how it impacts the real world scenarios. So if you have the map with you and you have your source and the destination, there are always multiple paths leading to that destination. So you telling the person driving the vehicle that this is the best path for us because we need to use a less traffic route, or this is the best path for
Hmm.
us because this is the quickest one. That is about the
Okay.
narrative.
Okay. So in the article, you also cite the research by Hong Shao and Roberto and others from Monash University. So what are their main findings?
To put it simply, their main findings are they did a study with multiple people, I think 103 or something, and they
Mhm.
were studying that do the visuals really help? Do the storytelling part helps the information? So
Okay.
the findings are uh, visuals are one part of it, but visuals don't
Hmm.
end it. When we put it in analogies, when we put it in real world scenarios, human brain comprehends things very fast, and also the effectiveness of comprehension is much better. So
Okay.
understanding one part and how well you understand it is another.
Mhm.
And they also found out that when uh, things are put into perspective by data storytelling format, uh, the information retrieval part, whenever that concept or that information is needed, uh, people will be able to retrieve it very easily and effectively if communicated in data storytelling format.
Oh, okay. And also you cite a terminology called digital noise generated by AI. What is that? So explain what is digital noise, and then how we can take care of it.
So this is the information age. Everything is about data. Every move that we do online or even in physical world generates data.
Hmm.
There was some point that every day we generate uh, even trillions of bytes of data in something. So as this data is being generated, it is being studied by AI models, and the LLMs or any other kind of AI models, they work on data and they train better. When they train better,
Mm-hmm.
they produce even more. uh, when this data is generated, not every data generated by a synthetic model uh,
Uh-huh.
trained on some past information might be true. So though they are helpful, but we need to be careful. We need to be very uh, cautious while taking data from sources.
Yeah.
Now digital noise would be any falsified information or maybe partially true information generated by
Hmm.
LLMs or any other models, and it is being cited as an actual reference. So when we are taking data from our sources, we need to be very
Mhm.
cautious.
All your LLMs are say that the response from AI might be wrong, so you have to
Yeah,
use your judgment anyways, and that's where it leads to saying that there are certain parts which AI can't take over from you yet. Okay, so
right.
I know you had been a technology professional yourself. So what do you think that the students who are currently studying into their 10th, 12th, or into graduation, what are the future career paths for them?
There are many future career paths, and I think they are being rewritten every day because
Mm-hmm.
some job profile is being automated today, and
Yeah.
AI supervisor role of that is being generated tomorrow. So
Mm.
there are too many like just the data interpretation and putting it into perspective and getting decisions out of that is one part.
Right.
And the skill will be very much valuable, even if it is being medicine. So a lot of medical research happens, and that brings data, analyzing that data,
Mm-hmm.
putting it into medical perspective. That would be a
Right.
career. uh, Humanities and policy making, it requires a lot of data that happens in society. So what is
Yeah.
actually the ground reality, and then how the policy should be made depending on to
Mm.
that. That can be even new career path.
Okay. I think one line has will remain with me. You know, your career paths are written every day. So I'll come back to it little later. So what is the biggest piece of advice you would like to give it to students?
um, don't be scared of AI. Use your
Okay.
human advantage as in uh,
Mm-hmm.
AI or technology or whatever the models that are today and agents and everything. They'll bring you what is existing, but they won't tell you what to do with that. You have to
Okay.
be the master of them. You have to understand how to use that information, what parts of it to pick, and how to use them in the actual real world scenarios. That human creativity paralleled with data literacy,
Mm-hmm.
that is
Mm.
the your human advantage that you have.
Perfect. So I'll come back to your line. I know you saying that career paths are written every day. So if you want to stay up to date with latest career paths, do come to this channel. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Deven, for joining us. Thank you so much.